This is a Swift Conqueror at 650, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Hitch, jockey wheel and handbrake will demonstrate to you in person here on site. Obviously if you already had a caravan, then you'll have a fair idea of how this works already. On the A-frame you've got your ATC, light should be green when you are towing, and if there is a fault with it, it will go red. Either way it's flashing green or solid green, you are ready to tow. In the bulkhead, you've got the gas regulator for the caravan. We do have the gas pipe work available here on site should you need to buy it. That goes from the regulator to the gas bottle. And you have two gas bottle tie downs. As you see, you've also got your leg winder there. But you can also carry two 6 kilogram gas bottles on board the caravan at any point. So coming down the side of the caravan, you've got your Aldi heating and hot water flue. This is very simply there to allow the heating system to breathe. So it does the same as the flue on the side of your house. Then we've got your wind down legs on either side at the front of the caravan. Again, if you've caravan before, you'll have an idea of how these work. They are in the similar positions to most caravans, so one either side here at the front of the caravan and the two coming in from the rear. On this particular caravan you have two water connections. Now what you'll find is the bottom one is to run directly to your hot water tank and to the taps, and the top one is directly to your onboard water storage tank. To be quite honest, probably better off just running from the aqua roll, but all you'd do is you'd connect the pump to the top to fill that onboard water storage tank instead of the direct to tapped one, and I'll show you how to fill it on the inside. We put a battery on just to demonstrate everything's working. Obviously that will come off and we'll transfer your battery from your old van if you do have an old van, or you can purchase one here on site. Then you've got your mains power coming to the side of the caravan, and then you've also got your motor mover power switch in the side of the caravan there also. Wheel nuts will torque prior to the caravan leaving site, and we'll also demonstrate the motor mover to you here on site as well. Toilet flush tank. 3.5 litres of water into this flush tank and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. Then in the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette, which you pull up the orange handle, pull the cassette towards you to release it from the side of the caravan. You need to make sure the waste flap on the toilet inside of the van is in the closed position. But once you pull this toilet cassette out, you have a neck on top that turns out 90 degrees, tip the waste away, and that will allow you to get rid of the waste out of the cassette. And also on the back of the cassette there's an orange pressure relief button, so when you press that button in, it will allow the waste to come out the cassette without spitting and splattering. In that cassette you'll need to put 1 litre of water and a capful of the blue fluid prior to use. The back of the caravan, like I said at the back here, we are attached to the quad at the moment, but you've got two wind down legs at the rear of the caravan. Going down the door side you've got your two fridge vents. Two fridge vents are very simply there to allow the fridge system to breathe. And then you've got your 3-pin socket coming out of the caravan, which will put power out to your awning should you wish to. Storage locker for underneath the front seating area, and a barbecue gas point. You will need the correct connection. It's about a barb around this sort of long that pushes into the connection, and it has a grip section on it so you can tighten up your gas pipe work to it. So you can use that for a barbecue should you wish to. Coming onto the inside of the caravan now, above the door as we come into the van, first of all you're going to see the main control panel. You've got power on and off on the bottom right hand side here, so you've got power off and power on. Dim level at the bottom is for these lights above the cabinets on both sides, and if you press that button it will change the percentage of lighting above the front cabinet area. You'll see on the screen here it's got your current battery level voltage, or the battery that's on board the van currently. You've then got your awning light for the outside of the caravan, the lights for above the cabinets on the right hand side here, and then you've got your general inside lighting on and off on this button just here. You've then got your water pump run, which I'll come back to in a moment. Now to fill the water system on board the caravan, which is the first thing we recommend everyone to do, is come underneath the seat, in the front cabinet here. And in the front cabinet you'll find two yellow valves. Two yellow valves are the drain down valves for the caravan itself, so you need to make sure both of these valves are flat with the floor prior to filling the water system up, and upright to drain down the water system, as you can see now. On the door there is a list of how this all works also. So to fill the internal water tank, which is this big water storage tank underneath the front seat here, you'd need to have the pump connected to the top connection on the outside of the van, and then you need to put this white valve so it points into the down position with both the yellow valves shut. And then you'd open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system, as I'm sure you probably would do if you have a caravan already, on the hot side of the system, and then turn on your water pump to fill the system up. Not connecting water at the van at the moment, just due to the fact of how cold it's getting at night. And obviously we don't want the systems freezing up. I keep draining them and filling them up. Once you have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan, it will mean that onboard water storage tank at the front is completely full. Then you can shut all the taps off and you're ready to heat the water. So that is the internal water tank we've filled at this point in time. To fill the hot water system without filling the onboard water storage tank, you'll open this tap up into the hot position again, as if the system's empty. Then underneath the seat, you'll have your 2 yellow valves, flat with the floor again. And then you'll need to have this valve pointing to the right-hand side. So this is just to fill the hot water system and not the onboard water storage tank, and that will run directly from the aqua roll. Like I said, to fill the internal tank, you have to have that switch down, and you'll also need it in the right-hand position when you are draining the water system down with the 2 yellow valves open. But you go through the same process again, turn the water pump on, then once you will have water flowing out of every tap continuously on board the caravan, you will turn all of the taps back off, and then you're ready to heat the water up on board the van. So, coming to the control panel to the left hand side here above the door, this is your Aldi heating and hot water. So we'll turn this control panel off for now and turn it back on in a second. Show you how it works. So you turn the control panel on, skip the loading menus. Top left hand side here, it indicates we've got the heating pump running, and then it indicates we've got mains power coming into the caravan and the current internal temperature of the caravan. We're going to hit the menu button and it will take us into the options for the heating and hot water. Now this only controls heating and hot water the same as the amount of power coming into the caravan. Top here you've got minus or plus for your heating. Obviously the higher that is, the hotter the heating will be. Below that you have your hot water option. So at the moment the hot water's turned off because we've got no water in the system. You can have the hot water on and hot water boost when this bar is completely full. Below that you've got the amount of power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. So you've got either off, 1, 2 or 3 kilowatts depending on what caravan site you are on. To ignite the gas systems on board the caravan, you'll hit the gas option here. If the gas system ignites, this button will stay green. If it fails to ignite on gas, it will come up with gas fail at the bottom of the screen with 2 exclamation marks at either end. You have got some advanced settings in the control panel as well, and for these we do advise you read the manual that comes with the caravan. If I went through all these individually, it'd probably take me a couple of hours to complete the video. So that is your heating and hot water main controls. Next thing we're going to come to is the fridge. So the fridge is fairly straightforward to use. You have got some winter latches in here, so you push the button in and pull these out, and then you push them back in when they're not needed. But essentially with these in the out position, you'll be able to leave the door open slightly. So it's got a vent gap down the side of it, as you can see. And that is on the freezer and the fridge. To operate the fridge, on top of the fridge, where you can see at the top here, you've got the control panel for it. So you've got power on the top left hand side here. Once it turns on, as you can see, we're going to go to mains power. And then to control the temperature on mains or gas, you use this button on the right hand side. And the more amount of bars you have lit up, the colder the fridge will be. If you're on the minimum, the fridge will be on its warmest setting essentially. Use the arrow at the top here, and you can go over to auto, which essentially auto will connect to the first power source it sees and is available to ignite on or run off. You've then got 12 volt mode. That is not the battery on board the caravan, it is the 12 volt supply from the vehicle you turn with. So as you can see, we don't have a 12 volt connection on the quad, I'm sure you can probably appreciate. So if you connect it to a car, you turn the car on, you do not need to have the control panels on above the door. Turn the fridge on, and then put the fridge on to 12 volt mode, and essentially as you're travelling down the road you'll be able to use the fridge as a cool box. Hit the arrow options again and we'll go over to the gas option. Now the fridge will self-ignite on gas. Now what I should just explain is the light that was coming on here was indicating there is no 12 volt source, and what you'll notice is if it fails to ignite on gas, it will start flashing the blue light here, a bit like it was doing with the 12 volt mode, and it will also bring up a warning light underneath the warning triangle on the the left hand side here. Again, on gas, control the temperature on the button on the right hand side. So that is your fridge operation. Hob, grill and oven all work very much like your household appliances. You have got a light in this particular one which you need to hold the button on for it to operate, as you can see. And then your igniter on the left hand side there. Microwave works very much like a household microwave, no difference at all there. Coming into the bathroom area now, and the last thing we go through is the toilet system. So the toilet is very simple to use. You have an electric flush up top here. You have a toilet full indicator light, which will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself turns for your convenience, as you can see. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette, it does need to be back in the central position. And you will also need to make sure that when you're removing the toilet waste cassette, this grey handle's back in this position here. When you're using the toilet, push the flap across and it'll allow the waste into the cassette at the side of the caravan. And like I said, you just need to make sure this is in the central position, the toilet seat itself, and the grey handle is in the central position, so it doesn't allow the waste, so it allows you to remove that toilet waste cassette. Bedroom area at the back, the bed does lift up, so you have storage underneath there, and we do advise during the winter that you remove the shower head completely and drop the pipework down to the ground, and with all the taps open in the central position, so if there's any water in the system, it doesn't freeze and crack the pipework open. So that's a Swift Conqueror 650. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.